This week, comedians Dave Landau and Nicole Schreiber join us for the first ever live recording of One Crazy Story with Nate Armbruster.
Ray's coming over with his parents, He died for however long. I don't remember what it was last night. By the time they got him in, he had actually legally been dead, and they revived him.
Is he brain dead?
Well, he's born again. So yeah.
Wow, that whole experience made him born again?
I mean, Dave, you might have contributed to that decision. You're probably part of the reason this man found Jesus.
Hello and welcome to another edition of One Crazy Story. I'm your host, Nate Armbruster, and this week is a very special episode because it is the first ever live episode of One Crazy Story, the first ever live recording. This is very exciting, guys. It's very exciting because I couldn't have asked for two funnier people to do this with. Booking a podcast, getting people to do it, it can be hard to keep up on. You got to find people that want to do it, find people that are willing to do it, because it does take time out of your day. And Nicole and Dave were so nice to give me a Sunday evening last month to record live at the 313 Comedy Show at the Park Bar in Detroit, Michigan. And it was awesome. All the guys at 313 Comedy are awesome for letting us do this there. And the show went great. We had a good crowd. Everybody loved it. There was this couple right in the front. You'll hear them at a few points that had no clue what they were walking into, and they had so much fun. So that means a lot that two random people can just show up to a thing. They have no idea what it is, and they end up just loving the shit out of it. So that's what's awesome about this. And, of course, Dave is back with another crazy story about getting drunk when he was a kid. First time he ever got drunk, him and his buddies, it got a little out of control, and some crazy shit goes down. All when he was like 14, 15 years old. And then Nicole also shares a very funny and embarrassing story about a time she had to shit in front of a guy she liked. There you go. It'll make more sense once you hear it, so I'm not even gonna. We all love a good embarrassing story, and this is my first ever live episode, so I hope you enjoy it. I sure did. Dave and Nicole seem like they had a good time. Hopefully they'll do it again. So it was a lot of fun. And I'd like to do more of these live episodes, so if you like it, let me know. And also find Dave and Nicole online. All of their info is in the description for this episode. There'll be links in the iTunes description on all my social media. They'll be tagged. Get in touch with Dave Landau. Dave is now co-host of the Artie and Anthony Show, which you can subscribe at compoundmedia.com. Make sure you go do that. The guy's hilarious. Artie and Anthony are hilarious. The show is great. Go check it out. Support Dave. Support Nicole. Nicole's doing a lot of cool stuff too. You can go to her website and get in touch and follow these people because they're very funny. And if you like comedy, you got to know these two. And thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. I really do appreciate it. You can go to One Crazy Story on Twitter, Facebook, all of that stuff. Let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed this. And if you want to get in touch with me, let me know what you think of the show. Just email me at onecrazystory@gmail.com. Rate and review on iTunes, all the podcast apps, anywhere you listen. So I hope you enjoy this week's episode with comedians Dave Landau and Nicole Schreiber in the first ever live recording of One Crazy Story.
I'm gonna tattoo
In a teardrop.
Yeah.
Just
you
like
guys.
words.
No, these teardrops just represent sadness for me.
Yeah. Did you kill somebody? No, depression.
This is the kind of person I am. If I didn't know what it meant, I'd be like, why'd you tattoo those on your face, man? I'd be like, you sad?
Yeah.
I would just like to
would've
take like a 3-year-old. It would have been dope if you brought your son, where like 3-year-olds. I don't even know how much your son can say. I actually don't know what age kids really start talking, but that age when kids have no filter.
Yeah.
He's
And
about
you bring
there.
the kid at that age, and they've never seen a person with shit tattooed on their face, and then that little kid is like, "Why you got shit on your face?" That's the moment I would love to see. Kids are dope. They say dope.
Dude.
We need to all lose our filters and just start saying just all the wrong worst shit.
We should bring your kid to Taylor next time we go.
Oh, yeah.
Dave's like, I love it. I love being a dad and a comedian. I can take my kids on the
That's
road.
great. I like to endanger my 3-year-old.
I mean, your kid's got to have stories to tell when he's a fucked up comedian.
Well,
Get him started
no.
early. Kid's like, one time
This is the
my
best
dad
part.
took me to Taylor and I got hepatitis C.
Yeah, it's great.
Show and tell.
Yeah.
Show and tell for your son is going to be so different. This is the tattoo I got at 4.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, I'm not letting him near Taylor.
Yeah.
I maybe you can't. I don't know. Kids will call out everything.
I love that. It's the best.
It's fun.
Oh, it's the best.
It's fun until somebody's really handicapped, and then you're like, son, don't.
Don't say anything.
Yeah.
Just stop. Just don't.
Why can't he walk? I don't know.
That's how I feel when
I
my
just don't
dog.
get it.
Yeah.
Sometimes my dog will bark at people in electric wheelchairs, and I'm just like, oh God, I am so sorry. This is so. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
He's
just
normally
like,
nicer to
he's like
people like
handicap,
you.
handicap.
Yeah. He thinks you're a car. I apologize.
He thinks you're a car. Whenever he sees the wheels, he loses it.
Yeah, he just loses
He
his
thinks
shit.
you're going places. Sorry.
He's barking.
He doesn't want you to leave. He just doesn't realize you're slowly going
like-
absolutely nowhere.
It's like, normally she's like, you want to go for a ride? But I was like, what's going on? This guy's got no windows, man. No windows in this vehicle.
Yeah, kids are awesome that
I
way.
asked the guy with no arms for directions today.
It's fun.
Yeah, it was downtown here. I was like, "Hey, I'm lost,"
Was
and
he
and
pointing
then I
with his
realized he
face?
had no arms, and I was like, "Well, this is awkward for me mainly."
See, it's not like you were like, can you point me in the direction of the park bar?
Yeah.
And he's
I was
like,
like, "Hey, do you know?"
and he's just like,
I was like, "Do you know where the cheapest parking is?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's he had smaller arms." And he was just like,
oh, he
"Hey,
had
it's-"
little arm. Little
He had
hands.
nubs to indicate.
oh, okay. So
It was a little
know.
turn signal.
he could
you know?
turn left.
Yeah, he
is what
was-
you're saying.
Yeah.
He could.
So you asked a guy with fetal alcohol syndrome.
Pretty much. So I asked a guy with a bad mom for directions.
How do you get to the park bar? Speaking of bar,
Speaking of bars,
my mom could have spent less time in one, and then I could learn to draw.
I bet you she's related to the people that own the venue we were at last night.
Oh, I'm sure.
for sure.
Last week met a guy, no hand, and I went to shake. Like I didn't know until it was
That's
too
why you
late.
always bump. From now on, always
but
bump.
This is the
Because
thing.
everybody's got a nub.
This
Not
is how
everybody
bad.
has a hand.
That's right, but I didn't know. So instinctively, I put out my hand for a handshake, and he put out his.
Nub.
That.
I've been
Call it
there.
a
Yeah.
nub. That's the technical term.
And I switched. Like it was just like so seamless, where I was just like, bam, and then he kind of looked at me, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't do that right, did I?
I bet that was like watching a white dude and a black dude bro high.
Yeah.
When white guys
It's
are like,
when-
white guys are like, hey.
Yeah. It's like me doing the half arm hug, like the
yeah.
Yeah, and I just completely fuck it up. And then I went to leave, so I shook it.
Right.
And then I was like, and then
You nub shook.
yeah, and then, which is even weirder. I'm like, I did it right the first time,
By the
didn't I?
way,
And
did
he's
you
like,
clutch
yeah.
it or did you?
I was
did
like,
you,
Yeah.
did you front it? Did you front
was
it or did you hit it from the side?
hit it from the side.
Okay.
That's like
Just give
that's
it a
like
two
going in. Yeah, I'm just like
Did you tickle it? Were you like?
I'm just like
I have awkwardly shook a nub on more than one occasion.
I just
too.
don't know. I just don't know what's
I
like.
have, where you're just like,
I'm just like yeah.
it's like, why do we have to pretend you're normal?
It's
Yeah.
fine. It's not.
I'm
Why
not saying
couldn't
there's
he just
anything.
be like, sorry, bro, weird?
Yeah, I'm not
something."
saying that. I'm
Right.
not saying that like you're not a human being. I'm
See,
just saying,
I just-
why do I have to do hand shit with you?
Yeah.
Just go, hey man, I don't have any fucking hands, and I'll go, my bad. And we'll
Like,
move
don't even
on.
go in for it. Don't even go in for it. You know it's happened to him on more than occasion. But if you think about if you had that power to make someone uncomfortable,
I do it all the time.
I would
yeah.
do it all the time. I'd never stop. I would nub everybody.
Oh
Me
yeah.
too.
I would fucking nub people left and right. I would just walk up to somebody and nub them in the back. And they'd be like, sorry. I'd be like, no problem.
Yeah.
Just constantly just fucking
Like, because
nubbing
you're not allowed
people.
to get mad. You can't get mad about it.
Ah, no.
Because you gotta
Oh.
party it. Like the comic
No.
in you is like, that
Yeah.
was fucking hilarious.
Well, she's right though. I would be adamant about
Oh,
it.
for
Yeah.
sure.
I would just say like, are you gonna shake my nub? Or,
Yeah.
I'd call it my hand just to fuck with
Yeah.
them. Like, are you not?
you shake
be
my
like,
hand,
high five,
bitch.
man, high five.
Yeah, yeah.
They'd be like, there's no five.
Yeah, give me a high nub.
Yeah.
That's 5 and 0. Fuck you.
Mom says my invisible hands are important as your real ones. Just stare.
Well, your mom was drunk, okay? That fucking alcoholic. Shake nubs. Just.
You really just grab the end.
Here,
like
here, show him. Show him.
There's this side, and
So
it's
this-
like, but usually it looks
Now
more
imagine-
like. Let's picture more of a reverse cigar, and then you're just like, "Hey, how are you?"
I would do it like honking a titty. I would be like,
Like you're pretending your hand's an alligator.
Yeah. And like maybe it's like
Hi
suckling.
there.
It's like a baby suckling. I'd be like,
Oh shit. Oh
We
my
had a
God.
neighbor with one arm growing up.
Really?
Dude, yeah, we assumed he would just.
By the way, when you were a kid, did all the kids in the neighborhood have stories about how he got why he only had one arm?
Yeah, of course.
Because
Wait,
that's the shit I love about
so-
kids. They'd be like, the guy with the one arm.
Yeah.
Did you hear what happened?
Oh yeah, we
Well, 'cause
assumed
you're so
he
curious.
was. We assumed he was a child murderer for no
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah,
Well, the guy that, you know,
absolutely,
we were afraid of
absolutely.
him.
Did he
Well,
ever
was he
wear a hook?
single? Was he single?
He was single.
Oh, then child murderer for sure.
And we knew it wasn't
if he
a
had a happy
lawnmower.
family, you'd be like, oh, it was a radial saw accident.
Yeah.
Did,
Yeah.
And we thought it was a lawnmower because he had one of those push mowers, like that.
Yeah, well, he
fucking-
can't pull the cord.
Well,
so
that's
it's-
but also like, but maybe he did get caught in a mower, and he's like, I'm just gonna get one of those.
Yeah, well, I mean, what do you got to
One of those
lose
Amish
after you fuck up the first time?
Yeah, well, I think your other arm.
Whenever I hear, yeah, that's true. That's true. You just are left-handed now.
Yeah,
you
no
don't
matter
have
what.
a choice.
He was
That's where you draw the line.
was left-handed.
She's like, do not make fun of people who are left-handed.
I can't
I've
believe.
experienced too much oppression in this lifetime. By the way,
Okay.
for the listeners, you need to know that this comment is coming from a black woman, probably the most oppressed demographic in the history of humanity. And the thing she's putting her foot down for is the left-handed.
Yeah.
For those of you that are listening, she has a Left Hands Matter shirt on.
Yeah, she really does. Oh God. Hey,
People are like, we're going to the Black
Guys.
Lives Matter march right now. She's like, fuck that. I got to be out here in these streets for these lefties.
guys, all hands matter.
All hands matter. Oh, no.
Fuck you.
I'm kidding.
You don't know.
I'm kidding. You can only hold one sign at the it's just, make sure you put it on a stick. So you can, oh my God. Anyway, the
And it's
reason
just everybody uses left-handed scissors. Like righties can't even participate in making the posters.
we have to use left-handed scissors.
Left-handed scissors only.
just
Righties
look
are like, I want to
terrible.
cut a sign, and they're not working. They're for lefties. Your kind's
We
not
can only make
needed
left turns
here.
through the city. Get the right permits. Oh my God. Well, the reason I asked you guys here, specifically, the whole theme of the show, one crazy story, and Dave has shared so many stories with me, just from the drives and everything. And Dave, endless amounts of stories from childhood through what? I mean, when did it all stop? Because
Well,
I
he's
should
a dad
say,
now.
Because I
That's-
should say.
By the way, that's the only reason Dave had a kid is because he's like, I need more stories.
well,
It's kind of true,
Well,
yeah.
because the thing is, like, all your stories involve some sort of crazy blackout
And
evening.
arrest, yeah.
And arrest, and now it's
My
like you're
13th and final arrest, hopefully, was when I was 27.
27. Like, if you get arrested now, it's like, what's that for? Like,
Pissing in
it's something real, like you can't follow up any of the shit you did when you were.
No, I won't have any good stories. I can't.
It's like I
Unless I relapse or something. But
Well,
other
let's
than
not do that.
No,
How
I'm
long
not
have you been
gonna
sober?
do it. Oh yeah, I'm sober.
yeah.
How long have you been sober?
I'd like to say 9 years, but I fell off a couple times.
Okay,
yeah.
that's fine.
Previous stories
You're
Dave's
supposed
done.
to clap for that shit.
You don't
guys.
have to. It's
Fuck.
fine.
This in-studio audience, keep it together.
Yes.
I just stopped hurting myself and people I love.
Well, that's the thing is, I like.
We're intoxicated.
I like to preface Dave's stories with he's got it together. Everything's good now because like last night we were talking before the show about the first time you got drunk
Yes.
at like 16, right? It was or was it
No,
even younger?
14.
It was 14, which is
And
young.
not the first time I drank, but the first time I got like drunk.
Yeah, the first time you got fucked up.
Yeah.
When you're and how does that even because like everybody it's usually that's the thing is like most people's first time I got drunk stories like we stole some liquor from dad's fucking we topped it off with water and it's just like super lame at least but with you it was super intense.
Well, I grew up. My house was kind of like that '70s show where we all hung out in the basement and like.
Yeah, the party house.
Yeah, it was like the party house, and my parents were
Did
not.
your basement have a little basketball rim?
Yeah.
Yeah, proper.
Yeah,
Okay,
Wood
respect that.
paneling, a pool table.
Yeah.
It was a fun house, man. That's where everybody hung out.
Yeah, my dad was like the baseball coach, you know.
Good shit.
So like, my parents weren't cool with us doing drugs and drinking, but you know,
they weren't not cool with
Yeah,
it.
no, they were not cool.
They absolutely
My
did not
mom,
like
I think, thought pot was cigarettes. But
it. She's like,
Yeah.
they're just smoking cigarettes
yeah,
down there.
that's what they're doing.
That's
They're
what they're
blowing
doing.
it through the fucking dryer sheet.
Oh God, I remember.
I love how that method hasn't
I remember
changed.
the dryer sheet.
Yeah, you put in the toilet paper
Yeah,
roll.
that hustle. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like the most.
Oh, but I remember when you got if you could get the paper towel roll,
Yeah.
then you were like extra filtration. No one's smelling it with this.
Yeah.
With the toilet paper roll, there might be a chance it might get
Yeah.
you might smell it, but this one there's like 7 dryer sheets.
You're like,
Yeah. The whole basement's just a bounce cloud.
yeah, your mom's like,
Eventually, you're just high on chemicals
Yeah,
from
yeah. Oh,
dryer
yeah.
sheets.
yeah, you're thinking that shit weed did anything to you. It was all the chemicals from the bounce.
Oh, we didn't have any Febreze or shit then. Like,
Yeah.
so I remember
That was-
spraying like N-Dust computer cleaner for the fragrance. Like shit people die from huffing now.
The guy who invented Febreze actually,
Oh, yeah.
he was inspired because of those moments.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know what we need is some shit to cover this up.
Yeah, he probably had mesothelioma or something.
He's
like,
just
you
in
know,
an iron
maybe-
lung, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, we need something a little less toxic.
Yeah. Maybe a fragrance you spray instead of, I don't know, poison.
It doesn't need to be aerosol, just, a little finger action. It'll work
Little
perfect.
finger action. It's a little spray of the can.
Well, this was after, like, I want to say, like a baseball game or something. I don't know,
Nice.
but we were over
Wait,
at...
a Major League Baseball game or in your dad's baseball games?
No,
Yeah.
I'm 5'6" and white. I didn't make the sophomore
Yeah.
team.
You didn't make it through allergy season.
You're like,
I played right field in the sense my dad would be like, if the ball gets hit, get out of the fucking way and let somebody with athletic ability get it.
I love that he still made you play.
He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
son, actually,
I hate watching my kid play, but I'm
Well,
gonna make.
that's why he put me in right field. If there was a way to put me behind that,
Hey, you're gonna learn how to be a vendor, son.
Prince Fielder played for my dad once. Do you know the difference between me and Prince Fielder?
where do we start the list?
Yeah, like he just would hit home runs every time, and then I'd get up and it's like, easy out.
Yeah.
And I was fucking left-handed.
He bats left.
I was left-handed, so everybody moved over to that side of the field and up.
Yeah. Oh no. You know how much people respect you when you're playing
yeah.
baseball. They're like, this fucking loser. Bring it in and move it over to the one side of the field.
The one time,
Infield, bring it in.
the only one time they were ever afraid of me was I was on acid, and the dude hit me with a ball, and I charged him, and I cracked him as hard as I could in the thigh. And then 2 umps pulled me off.
They did.
I was suspended for 2 games.
That's it.
By the way, how fat were you that you needed 2 umps as a kid to pull you off?
I wasn't fat. I
Well-
was beautiful back then.
Were you?
Yeah, this all happened eventually.
Yeah, when did
Now,
I was a hot piece of ass.
When did
when
you
I was
lose a
how
mirror?
old were you when you were tripping acid playing Little League?
15, 14.
15?
It's still in Little League?
Yeah. We called
Did
it
they
Babe
think
Ruth.
you had special needs and they were like, just let this kid in, it's fine?
I played down a
fucking
few
Riri.
years.
We literally, I gotta watch saying literally. I'm trying not. It's a fucking crutch. Anyway, we played on acid for this team we had called the Reds. Me and a bunch of my friends. We
By the
played
way,
on
you could have
acid.
said you literally played on acid.
We
because
did.
You literally did.
Because you
so that was a good
literally did.
use. So keep going.
Yeah, we did play on acid a lot, and we did win games.
Did you?
Kidding. We lost.
Did it it's not a performance enhancing
But in your
drug.
alternate universe mind, in your acid mind, you won every
We were
game.
having fun.
Undefeated.
It's very hard to hit a ball when you're watching the tracers come out.
It's like the video
You're
games.
swinging the bat in slow motion. You're like, I'm hitting all the balls.
I won't lose this one. How do you
Just
fucking
big
miss it?
saucer-eyed kids. Just
Oh my god, did you bat while you were tripping?
yeah,
How'd you do?
worse than when I wasn't.
See, that's why they let you in Little League at age 15.
Right.
They're like, this guy hasn't gotten on the scoreboard for years.
No.
Don't worry, guys.
You know, as far as the score was concerned, there was no difference between me on or off acid.
Yeah, and
That ball wasn't getting hit one way or another.
that's great. It's like,
God, how disappointed was your dad?
Very? No, not
I
really.
feel like that's why I'm a comedian. I'm trying to make up for lost years. I want
No,
to
my dad,
even-
I had a twin brother who was great at sports.
Oh
so.
no, this is the tragic tale.
Not really.
You had a brother
he
who was
still
great
has,
at sports?
He still has a twin brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean
no.
had, like, he's dead.
You have, but your twin brother got like the genetics to be athletic.
Right.
Yeah, you guys
I
are like
was
the movie
the-
Twin. You were Danny DeVito.
Danny
DeVito, and he was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Exactly.
Oh, that's the worst. Oh, that's
Except-
the worst. Just a
except gorgeous
genetic
Danny
cesspool.
DeVito.
What?
You're a
Except what?
gorgeous.
I was a gorgeous Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
You're a gorgeous Danny DeVito.
Like a
Okay,
full
good.
head of
Okay,
hair
good.
on
A full head of
Danny.
hair.
Like a
but
70s.
you were young. You were
like
young.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Danny DeVito.
Okay, good.
You're a stud.
And yeah, I don't think my dad was thrilled.
No.
Well, at least he got
Did he
one
know about
good
the
kid.
acid?
He got one dud and one good kid.
And now he'd be happy, but he died when I was young.
Wait, your dad did?
Yeah.
Oh no! How old were you and your dad died?
I had just turned 18.
Oh wow! So
So it's so like.
What, did that bring you down?
listen, you guys.
I
That's
just-
why he's the comedian he is today.
Yeah, I mean...
You don't get this kind of career with a alive dad.
No.
Okay. You need
No.
pain,
You need-
suffering, and punchlines.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, my dad's alive, and I'm doing a podcast in an attic
Yeah.
in Detroit.
See?
Yeah.
That's
And my dad
difference.
loves
That's
me.
the difference.
So
My
Well, my dad loved me. He just died.
oh no.
oh shit. But, so you're.
All right, wait, go back. So you're in the
14.
basement.
So you're
you're in the
14.
basement.
So
Let's go
my
back to the
dad-
basement.
You're tripping acid
Back to the
at the
basement.
games.
The
My
baseball game had
dad's-
just finished. The baseball game had just finished.
The baseball
But-
game I just done. My dad is upstairs. He's fine.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he had brain cancer.
He was in recovery.
He started getting brain cancer around now.
Yeah.
From Agent Orange and Nom to set the tape, but he had just had headaches. We didn't know.
Right.
Oh God.
Point is, he's in the basement drinking with his buddies.
Well, we weren't drinking yet. We had rented the movie Spy Hard with Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
Nothing better than Leslie Nielsen.
No, no.
Nothing. Every
great
every
night
hit
in.
is a greatest hit.
Yeah,
Boys, we just lost another one. Let's go rent a movie.
yeah, we pretty much. It was me, my friend Ray, and my friend Brian, and yeah, we were in the basement. We had just eaten pizza, and we're like, "Wait, we should get some like booze or whatever." I'm like,
Yeah.
"I think my dad has booze,"
Uh-huh.
and my dad never drank because he never met his dad. His parents were just Irish drunk fucking idiots. So I went into the back room where my dad had like this liquor hidden,
Uh-huh.
and it was what he won in a golf tournament in like 1971. And this was like 1996.
Yeah. This stuff is fermented.
It's just straight alcohol.
Yeah.
I think it was a liter, not even a fifth, just a little bit more, you know. And I went upstairs and I just grabbed Dixie Cups. I saw my mom. I thought they were shot glasses. I'm like, this is the right size,
It's
right?
about that. That's about
This is-
right.
This is not 4 shots in a cup. So I brought it downstairs, and we're like, all right, let's do this. So we each took a shot. And I remember, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I remember when it hit my body, and the fucking heaven.
Your body was like, this is so right.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I did beer and stuff. No chaser. No.
That's how
We-
right his body felt about it.
Yeah.
His body was like, no, just let this be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let
this is how
let
it's
this
supposed
burn
to be.
the esophagus.
it's true.
Just strip the lining.
yeah,
That
Dave's a
poison
natural.
is
He's a-
taking hold.
You're
I'm
a natural,
natural.
alcohol drinker.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it just felt great.
Yeah.
And then we decided we're like, we'll drink more.
Yeah.
So we did another shot.
Did it
and-
feel that right for your friends? Was that the
No.
beginning of the end for your friends?
Dave-
Just you.
No, they immediately wanted like a Coke or something.
I need
You
a
were like, what's
chaser."
wrong, pussies?
Yeah.
Let's
I remember
go,
I-
another shot.
Dave-
Line it up. Get that
remember-
Dixie full.
I went upstairs and I got them each a Barks. I remember that. Bark.
None for Dave, though.
No, Bart.
Just two.
Bart
You
has
just toss it
bites.
in the can and
Some
you're like,
root
here
beer
you
for
go,
the
you
boys.
I got
losers.
some root beer for the fellas.
Yes. And then another shot for old Dave.
Yeah, and no, then we just drank it till it was gone.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was fucking hammered. We were instantly hammered, just telling each other like, "Oh, I love you, man. Everything's awesome. We got to get more beer." And then my twin brother came in with his two friends. Now, his two friends, one's name is Gary, and Gary looks just like Chris Farley. And to this day, Gary has had 4 heart attacks. And the first time he told me, I just laughed in his face. Because all I could picture was him just pounding his chest. He's alive. I don't know how, but
Your
he's
dad's
still
not, but he
alive.
is.
It's like you just
Okay.
picture him, though. Just, like, just having a
Well,
heart attack.
I ate at his house one time as a kid, and his parents had wilted salads. And I'm like, what's that? They go, well, we cook bacon, put it on there, then we use the bacon grease as dressing. So that's why...
Wilted, just like your
Wow.
arteries.
that's why he's
Wow.
had
That'll do it.
43 heart attacks.
So he rolls.
Jesus.
So this fatty
When he-
rolls in with your brother.
With my brother and our friend Phil, who's a couple years older. And we are
Phil.
just... Phil, yep. And then
And what's Phil's physical breakdown? So we're,
Phil is a massive, like, football playing dude.
so just an Adonis of a man.
Yes, just a
Okay.
gigantic...
So an Adonis, a cue ball, and then
Chris Farley.
and then your brother.
What a scene.
Yeah. And it's me, my friend Ray, and my friend Brian fucking hammered. And right when they come downstairs, I saw a trailer for Beverly Hills Ninja.
Yeah.
So I started I
Perfect.
started calling him Farley and like
Oh, shit.
doing like ninja shit and like all this stuff. And I don't remember much, but I do remember him grabbing me by the throat and throwing me against a wall. And then my brother's
Was your
like,
brother standing for that?
yeah, pretty
Your
much.
twin brother just let that go
Oh,
down?
my brother and I used to fight all the time. He didn't
Yeah.
care.
Oh,
Yeah,
what
this
a
is normal
bitch.
for the Landau
Yeah, my
household.
brother and I fought every day. Oh, he would love to watch me get my ass kicked by someone else.
He's like, this fat fuck is gonna impale my brother.
We weren't like fun twin brothers fighting. Like I would piss in his bed.
It's sober.
Yeah, sober for real.
Oh, shit.
I would fuck with him. I pissed.
Drunk, he
In,
just shit in his bed.
he bought a moped once, and I pissed in the gas tank. And I watched him try to fix it for an entire summer.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
He's like, I don't know what's wrong with this.
I don't know.
what's-"
Do you guys still fuck with each other? Like, do you go over to his house and just like upper deck his toilet?
No, I might. Like
He might
we
now.
get
There you
along
go.
way better now, but yeah, we there's still a little bit of that.
Like every once a year, you just fucking destroy his.
yeah, I just
It's
destroyed.
the annual I fuck with
Yeah,
you.
annual upper decker.
Yeah. Dave, every
That's
Labor
all I
Day.
dream of, guys. That's
key
all
his
I dream
car.
of.
How's it feel being a twin? Like, did you ever get in trouble for your brother's shit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can
dude,
your
being
recording hear that? Can
Yeah,
your
yeah.
recording? Okay, good.
Oh,
yeah, being a twin is the worst. I mean, and, nobody knew we were twins because we didn't really look that much alike, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like we would easily, he could do something, then just blame me. And then my mom would just beat my ass. Because I also grew up in that household. My parents were a little older, you know?
I can relate.
And my mom was bipolar, so she had 2 speeds. Fucking sweetest woman in the world or beating the shit out of her. There was no...
Did you ever get caught? Did you ever admit to pissing in the moped?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I talked about it during a wedding toast. Yeah.
Is that when you came? Was that when you revealed the?
No, I told him one time he came in, he goes, all this fucking liquid's on my hand and I don't think it's bad.
Shit.
And I swear to God, I go, it's piss.
It's piss. It's my piss.
During your toast, you're like, I hope this marriage lasts longer than your moped.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Sorry,
that's,
bro.
That's
I
mid-grade
think I made a
Dave.
pun, like finding my brother, I'd like to say you're in luck.
So getting back to the basement, your brother walks in with
So
his
Farley
friends.
walks in, he starts choking.
And you start
her.
Farley's
fucking with
choking
him.
me out, and then my brother's like, I'm getting out of here. You're so fucking drunk. Dad's gonna catch you.
Yeah.
Mom's gonna catch you. I'm getting the fuck out of here. So they take off, and we're like, let's put in Spy Hard. And we are fucking shit-faced.
You're 13?
13 or 14, yeah.
Okay.
And I think 14, because, yeah, 96. So I wake up to the sound of my mom screaming.
Oh man.
And she's like trying to slap Ray awake. And Ray is unconscious on top of a beanbag chair. I don't know if he's breathing.
Now, is this the same evening or the next morning?
This is the same evening.
Oh shit! So this is like you guys just you were fucking out.
This is from the beginning to the end of Spy Hard. So I woke up to the credits and just my mom screaming,
oh my God, dude.
Ray, get up! Ray, wake up! Ray, wake up! And my friend Brian and I are like, what the fuck is going on? And my mom's like, Ray's not breathing. I'm like,
He's actually not breathing.
He's not breathing. He's not doing anything that my mom can tell. My mom's a nurse.
Yeah.
So she's pretty good at, knowing when you're
He's
dead.
definitely not
knowing
breathing.
Knowing the
nurse.
signs of deadness.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Ray's got a case of the dead, Mom.
Yeah.
I can't tell. I'm not a nurse. I don't know if he's breathing or not.
So she's like, go tell your father to call 911. So I stumble up the stairs.
Yeah, drunk
Like,
Dave.
yeah, I'm like holding on to like the rail and just like moving
Dad.
all over it.
Dad.
Finally, I bust open the fucking kitchen, the side, the stairway door, and I just walk in. I'm like, Dad,
I don't know how to tell you.
you gotta like call the cops. My dad's like, what? I'm like, Ray's something. I don't know. And you just hear my
no
mom
help
like,
at
call
all.
the police. Ray's fucking dead, And so my mom, my dad grabs the phone, which I now have in my hand, but I can't make out the numbers.
Yeah.
So I'm just like punching the keypad, and my dad takes it, calls 911. They're to the house, probably in 5 minutes. And my friend Brian's just sitting down there watching the credits of Spy Hard, like, I don't know.
Brian's like, these credits are great.
This whole thing.
Brian's like, do they show anything after the credits?
Yeah.
No.
Do they do
He's
that?
just really
He's
uncomfortable.
like, hey, Dave, is there going to be anything
Drunk.
after the credits?
I just want to know what that song was.
So I just remember these two ER dudes come in. I guess these two fucking guys come in with a gurney, and I'm standing there, and they like push me out of the way, and they run downstairs, and I look at the stretcher, and I'm like, this is a good time to take a little nap. So I crawl into the stretcher.
Not even like really realizing what's happening.
No,
You're
I
just fucked
just
up.
saw,
You're like,
I saw
need
a bed.
Yeah.
I saw an opportunity to nap, and I took
Yeah.
it.
Right.
You're like, well, they got him.
So
they got it.
I'm laying in the stretcher.
In the gurney.
Yeah, and my dad's yelling like, get up, get the fuck up. And I'm just like, Dad, I'm fine.
Oh my God.
And he's like, get the fuck up. So now, these two guys are carrying my friend who's blue up the stairs,
Yeah.
and they're like, get off the stretcher. And I'm like, no.
The worst part about all of this is that your dad is so bummed out there's people there because he would have beat the shit out of you otherwise.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry, he did.
Yeah, you guys.
But he waited till they left.
He waited until there were no witnesses.
Yeah.
But he,
There's no stretcher for you, motherfucker.
well, he grabs me and he pulls me out of this. Not my dad, but one of the ER guys just fucking launches me out of the stretcher. And then they take off, and this cop's standing there talking to my dad, and the cop goes, you two need to go take a seat. We need to talk to you. Me and Brian are like, all right, dude. So we go and we sit in the family room, there's 2 chairs, and in comes this detective, and he goes, now we need to know what your friend Ray is on. Because we've searched the basement, and we believe that he may have done this. And he pulls out non-toxic Elmer's wood glue. A bottle that's this big,
Oh my God.
non-toxic,
Huff and glue.
missing the element that would make you high. And Brian goes, you did it, Columbo. You cracked the case. And I go, you got it, Magnum PI. You're fucking great, man. Brian's like, didn't you notice the 5th Kojak? We're basically, these 2 14-year-olds are shitting all over this guy in his bad detective work, calling him every reference we could think of from television.
There's an empty bottle of booze in the basement.
There's
He's
an
like,
empty liter. We didn't even hide it.
and he's just like, and can't you smell it on the
Yeah,
kid?
can't you smell?
Jesus
You're like,
Christ.
we're high on pizza.
Right, yeah.
You know what? That non-toxic glue.
So
that shit-
we rip on this dude, and I remember calling him Clouseau until he had a red face and a frown.
Oh shit.
And he goes,
And then your dad's like, battle.
what? And the guy goes, all right, I could arrest you and arrest your father, just so you know. And he storms off. And then my dad walks in and later goes, we need to take Brian home right now. I'm like, okay. So I walk into the car and I'm like, you want me to drive? And he's like, I'm going to punch you in the face. So we get to my dad's car, Pontiac Transport, the Cadillac with minivans. And had this automatic door. It was fucking some 90s shit.
Yeah.
And we get in and we're driving back Brian home. Now, Brian lived Like I grew up on like Harper Woods, Grosse Pointe border. He lived in like the super rich area, so we had a little bit of a drive, you know?
Yeah.
So the whole time my dad's just like kind of quiet. I don't want to get in any trouble, so I'm like, Dad, Ray did heroin.
It's about time. You got it.
Yeah,
I
and
got to tell you.
My dad goes, Ray did not do heroin. And Brian goes, stop telling your dad Ray did heroin. I'm like, Brian, we both know he did heroin. You and I did nothing except watch Spy Hard and eat pizza. And he was doing heroin. We told him not to, Dad. He's got a real heroin problem. And my dad's like, quit trying to get out of trouble. I know Ray didn't do heroin. I'm like, he's on a lot of heroin. And then Brian's like, he wasn't on heroin. My dad's like, I know he wasn't on heroin, Brian. He's like, but I did tell your dad what happened. And I was like, Brian, tell your dad Ray did heroin. That's them going to get Ray right now.
Yeah. Cue the ambulance.
So we drop off Brian, we drive home. A lot of this is a blackout. And the whole way back home, my dad's just, I'm disappointed in you, all that kind of stuff, the ride back. I go to bed, and I wake up the next day, and my mom's like, oh yeah? She's sitting there with a fucking Carlton 100, smoking. She's like, how do you feel? Pretty awful today. And I'm like, yeah, I feel terrible, but realistically, I was 14. I felt fine.
I'm quite hydrated.
I could have drank in 3/5 and just skipped down the stairs.
Mother, I am a natural-born alcoholic.
Well, but the resiliency in a teenage liver is
you bounce back, no problem.
Not to mention you were a natural.
Yeah.
It's like your body was recovering already.
Yeah.
It's like you were drinking Pedialyte as a chaser.
Yeah, that's Dave's Pedialyte.
And she goes, we have some liquor downstairs. We're going to be dumping it out. But Ray's coming over with his parents. He died for however long. I don't remember what it was last night. Like by the time they got him in, he had actually legally been dead. And they revived him.
Is he brain dead?
Well, he's born again. So,
Wow, that whole experience made him born again?
I mean, Dave, you might have contributed to that decision. You're probably part of the reason this man found Jesus.
Well,
you've done a good thing. In
a side story, not to get into that, but one night I took 13 hits of acid and he took 19, and that was the day that I saw him turn into another person. He actually cut open his arm to get the bad blood out and sealed it shut with a lighter. Yeah.
Really?
For real. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He wears long sleeves to church.
Oh my God.
I probably shouldn't even be using his real name. So Brian comes over with his parents. They're fucking furious. Brian also looks great. He's 14.
He's like, I died yesterday. Yeah, it's all good.
And then Ray's parents show up. Now, Ray's mom is somewhat known in the community. She had a high political position.
Oh, great.
And his dad was a lawyer. And Ray comes walking in, and he's fucking blue. And I don't mean like, oh, you look a little discolored. He looked like Grover with AIDS. He's thin. He's got fucking Band-Aids on for no reason. Like, he's barely standing. He's just looking around.
He just walks in. Dave's like, the fuck happened to you?
Yeah. Oh, we immediately were ripping on him. We're like, you look good, you fucking...
You're like, like a fucking idiot.
Oh, dude, he's such an asshole. So... He walks in and his dad starts giving us a speech where he's like, we don't go to the bar and just start doing shots. When I was young, the age was 18, and it was because of shit like this that they made it 21 again. None of you guys should be drinking. Look at him, my son. I almost lost my son last night, and me and Brian are just looking at Ray like trying to cover from laughing at him. And then my parents made us go downstairs, and we had to open up this liquor cabinet where we had the rest of the liquor, and we immediately... just started pouring, all of it out. And my mom's, afterwards, everybody left. And my mom's like, yeah, we're going to drink again? And I was like, no, never again. And then 13 arrests later. But that was the moment where I started drinking. And I always think about it, like the first time I got drunk, I loved it. And my friend was pronounced legally dead.
Damn.
Amazing.
That is fucking crazy, man.
So, and my dad, he wasn't happy.
man.
But that was what was weird about, like, I don't know.
Just think, I mean, you're lucky that like shit like Facebook wasn't around.
Oh, yeah. Well, dude, I remember driving home from a baseball game once, tripping on acid, and my dad's like, all right, you drive, because I had a permit. I can't go, no, Dad, I'm on acid.
Yeah, that's not an excuse to not drive.
So I'm driving this fucking car home, tripping my balls off, and I crashed into the front of my house.
Oh my God.
And that wasn't long after this.
Dad, I'm just not a good driver.
Yeah,
I'm just not a guy. I'm not meant to be
when
behind
I
the
told
wheel.
him, like, I think I saw something in the driveway, and he's like, we're not in the desert. It's a driveway. So yeah, that's the first time I drank. My
It is
friend died.
unreal.
He's
glad,
and he's
glad
fine.
it's all good.
Yeah,
See you at
sort of.
church. See you at Where do we go from here, Nicole?
I mean, I don't have anything that's even kind of that good.
That's not a bad thing, though. I don't
that's
even know if Dave...
amazing. You had a great childhood.
Thank you.
Now,
Like, that is
Nicole,
fantastic. I mean, one time I was really high, and my friend's mom was like, I'm going to need you to drive. I'm too drunk. We needed to go to the store. And my friend's mom made me drive because I was much older than her, and I had my license at the time, and
Right.
we had just been getting high in her basement. And she was like too drunk, and she needed to go pick up stuff from the store. So I had to drive my friend's mom's car with her in the passenger seat, and me high as fuck.
You're just freaking out.
high as
She's
fuck.
like, you can go more than 12.
Oh, it was terrible. Terrible.
go
And then
fuck
my friend
yourself.
Tracy was just sitting in the back seat laughing her fucking ass off.
Of course, 'cause you can.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she was probably on pills and everything.
Yeah, probably.
Like half the moms.
We used to call her mom Delirious Diane.
Yeah.
And then we called her father Absent-Minded Alan. We called him
Absent-Minded Alan?
Absent-Minded Alan. And then her dad was a lawyer. And then one day after school, she was a freshman when I was a senior, and I drove us. I was gonna, because we lived right down the street from each other, and we were gonna go home, and she was like, "No, let's stop at my dad's house. We'll do homework. Well, let's stop at my dad's office. We'll do homework at my dad's office." And her dad was, he had like an office close by our houses, and the mom was the office manager.
Oh Lord.
So we went to private school, and we had to wear like skirt and tights and like all that stuff at private school, and we were studying, and everybody had left the dad's office at that point, and I had taken my tights off because tights are so fucking annoying. And I took the tights. I was like, let's fuck with your dad. And I took my tights, and I put my tights over his office chair, and then we left. And then maybe like 2 years later, she calls me up and she's like, "Yo, my parents are getting a divorce."
What?
I've been meaning to tell you this, but 2 years ago, my mom thought he was cheating
Oh my God. Oh my God.
because of your tights that you left on his chair. And it turns out he was cheating.
Shit. Holy
He
shit.
was cheating.
That's an amazing.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
I
Yeah.
never home wrecked anybody.
I ruined that girl's. I ruined so much about this girl's life. I home wrecked.
Either way, we're bad people.
We're bad people. No, but this girl, I got her kicked out of high school. So much so that she had to get sent away to a boarding school. Like she was I put her in my trunk once so I could take her to Canada.
Oh, that was the. Okay.
That was so I had a friend.
Yeah.
This was my friend who I literally put. She was a freshman. I was a senior.
And she was the one whose parents you destroyed their marriage.
I
So you
destroyed their
grew-
parents'
this
marriage.
is-
But he was already destroying it. But I'm the one. I gave evidence.
You know
it
what?
Wasn't,
That was meant to happen.
yeah,
That was meant to happen the way it happened.
I was doing God's work. I was really doing God's work.
So yeah, you grew up around here though too.
Yeah, I
so
grew up around here,
Canada
yeah.
is literally fucking.
Oh, it's right there. But it's so she
Right.
was. I was 18 at the time. She was like 14.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're going to Windsor, and she's like, well, I can't go. I'm not old enough. And I was like, oh, you can go.
Yeah.
So
There's
she's
really
like,
no age
well, my
limit.
parents aren't going to let me go. They're going to want to know that I'm at your house. So we concocted this whole thing where her parents were going to drive over to my house so she could look out my bedroom window so they could see that she was in the house.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had already gotten in trouble. I had already gotten her in trouble so many times
Right.
that they were like, we're not falling for this shit again. You better
We
be
know
home.
Nicole. We don't
And
trust
so
this.
they see us in the window, we wave hello, they're like, all right, she's there. The second we leave, we're like, lock and load, let's go.
Yeah, right.
And we get into my car, we put her in the trunk. Well, we let her ride in the car on our way
So-
to Windsor. We pull over by Cobo Arena. We take a blanket, put her in the trunk.
Holy shit.
Put a bunch of stuff like on top of her. Like there was like sports gear and like,
That's
really, like
hilarious.
all this shit.
So
and
you
we put her
literally-
in there.
you
and we're
cover
like,
her up.
we're like, if they open the trunk, we're
And at a
arrested.
time though
So-
where Jefferson was not now.
Right.
Where you could actually do that. Like if
Yeah.
you did
This
that
wasn't
today,
Nike
they'd be
store
like, is somebody
downtown.
fucking
No.
stuffing somebody?
Was this
Yeah.
like, yeah. It's just
But it's like we're
two
smuggling.
white girls putting a body in a trunk in
Yeah.
Detroit. This is great.
So it's me. Everybody's high at this point.
Yeah.
Everybody's fucking crazy high.
Yeah, if
and
you
it's
weren't,
me
that
and
would be-
3 dudes. It's me and 3 dudes, and then there's a girl in the trunk.
Holy shit. Is this post 9/11?
This is before 9/11,
Oh, okay.
right
So this
before
is-
9/11.
This is when this shit, like, I mean, because you crossed the border now.
yeah,
I'm like,
this,
how the
I would
fuck
never.
did you pull
now
this
I
off?
would never do that because she'd be in the trunk for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Like after 9/11, it took 10 years to get over the border.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So-
and they're going to search you now. Like,
Yeah, this search
when we were
everybody,
younger,
yeah.
they're just like, oh, go ahead.
That's the
go
thing
get
is, like, you could-
shit-faced and
Oh,
drive
by the
back.
way, I forgot to note. Her parents said that they need to call. She has to call them right before she goes to bed.
No cell phones, though.
But my parents had just gotten a cell phone for me. They were like, oh, this is an emergency use phone only. And
And
at the
this
time, it
was-
was like, I didn't care about cell phones. It was like a Zach Morris cell phone.
Right,
it was like,
yeah.
right.
It
This
was like
was
the
like
world's biggest cell phone
Not
ever.
too many people had these.
No. But my parents were like, you can, and I didn't even care about it. I was like, I didn't even have friends to call. It was like I literally just had the phone to call my parents. So I was like, this is fine. We'll just call my parents.
Yeah.
We'll just call your parents from my cell phone when we get to Canada. So we get to Windsor. We go to a bar. Find. Oh, by the way, Border Patrol. They were taking a little bit longer than usual, and we were just shitting on our pants.
Yeah, right. You're
And then
freaking out.
We're done. We're like,
Your
it's
friend
over.
more
I'm like,
so.
we're gonna get a body cavity search. I was like, I might enjoy
Yeah.
this. Every
Yeah.
dude's freaking out. I'm like, please. So we go to the bar, and then it's like midnight. We're like, shit, we should definitely call your parents.
Yeah.
Right now. So we go out to the parking lot. At this point, we are fucking hammered. So we go to the parking lot, and we're like huddling down between the cars, and she's on the phone calling her dad, and I shit you not, a fucking siren, an ambulance goes right by
Oh,
us, like,
shit. Like-
blaringly loud, and we're
Blowing
like,
all your cover.
and her dad's like, Tracy, what's that? What's that sound? Where are you guys? She goes, oh, it's the TV, Dad. We're just watching Cops. We're watching Cops right now. Sorry. Nicole, can you turn the TV down?
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, yeah, sorry, Tracy. And she's like, all right, Dad, we're gonna go to bed. He's like, all right, Trix. We go. That was her nickname, Trix. He's like, all right, Trix, good night. Anyways, hangs up the phone, and Tracy's like, my dad's the dumbest person ever. Flash forward, guys, he has a raging case of Alzheimer's. Like, he is completely absent-minded Alan. Like, it came to
Absent-minded
fruition.
Alan?
Yeah.
Alzheimer's Alan, really.
Yeah,
Alzheimer's.
you put the Al in Alzheimer's. Yes, you do.
Alzheimer's.
Yes, you do.
Very
Alzheimer's.
Yeah, we got away
Wow,
with
so
that.
you pulled it off. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
That is
Yeah.
great, though, that it is that pre-cell phone thing, though, where you
Yeah.
my dad had one of those just for his company.
Yeah.
So we would have that same thing every now and then where
Yeah.
I would find it in the car and make
Yeah.
that phone call, and they're like, well, it's got to be from a landline.
Yeah,
for
right.
sure,
These
for sure.
kids don't access
yeah, they don't just have a. Yeah, they don't have.
I mean,
a
I've got some other little crazy stories. Your story is epic.
Oh my god.
Oh, no,
I think.
I mean,
no,
I have
this-
lots of stories of like
You guys-
poop. I have
this
so
is
many
just-
poop stories. I'm constantly having diarrhea. Like,
Shit, I don't.
Sure.
like at places I shouldn't be having diarrhea. Like I just went on the road.
Hell yeah.
I
I love it.
I drove from LA to Tahoe for a show, for a gig, and they offered to fly me there, but I was like, no, I'll drive.
like
I'm
a
gonna go
4-hour
with this guy. It's a guy friend of mine, who I like kind of liked. We never hooked up at that point, but I was like, I think I might be into him.
You never know, man.
He was cute. He was cute. Dave knows him. But I was like, you never know what this could turn into. We're gonna go on a road trip together. You know, road trips lead to love, right?
Or podcasts.
Or podcasts.
Or crippling
for sure.
diarrhea.
Or diarrhea. So we're driving and we hit Reno. We hit Sacramento, and we have to start cutting up over through, like, basically you're going into the mountains. And we get weather reports. They're like, huge blizzard hitting, like one of the biggest blizzards they've had in like years. They're like, they're going to be closing down the roads. And this dude I was with was like, no, we're going to power through. We're going to make it. We're going to do it. I was like, all right. He's like, and we're like, there's a chance they might close the pass, and then we're going to have to turn back.
Right. Awful.
All right. So we get into the pass. And by the way, at this point, I'm like 6 coffees deep and like 5 protein bars, which are like loaded with fiber.
Tastes like Jesus Christ.
I'm like, I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom at some point.
You're
And like
asking
before
for
we
it.
get into the pass, I was like, maybe I'll go to this bathroom. He's like, no. He's like, there's halfway through the pass. And it's not that far. It's 22 miles. He's like, so 11 miles from now, he's like, there's
Right.
another bathroom. We can go there. And we hadn't hit any traffic at that point. And then all of a sudden, we just come to a complete standstill.
Oh, shit.
They had closed the pass and weren't letting people turn back or go forward.
Oh, no.
They basically cut off a portion of the pass so they could plow and salt and snow or whatever, or they sand or something, so they could sand everything, and then they were going to reopen it.
So
for 2 hours, we were sitting there at a dead standstill, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go.
And at this point,
Right fucking now.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
you have no choice.
And then at some point we were there for so long it like disappeared. Like the poop just like
That
I
happens.
think my body had just started like
It does.
absorbing the moisture from the poop, and it just
Adrenaline.
turned to stone inside me, or so I thought. So then finally it reopens, and we get through, and we get to the gas station that's halfway through. That's 11 miles in. We get to the gas
how
station.
excited are
There is
you?
a line for the bathroom, 50 people deep.
Oh, no.
And at this point I was like, well, I just have to pee.
Oh, you don't.
So I'm gonna go. There was like a bunch of dudes just over on the side of the gas station, just a wall of dudes just like peeing against the wall. And I was like, I'm gonna go find a place where like I can go. So I find this like snow mound. I take one tissue. I take one Starbucks tissue because we had been drinking Starbucks the whole time. So there was a whole wad in the car.
Oh, my
but I
God.
just took one with me.
That's
and I
all I'm
go
gonna
back
need.
behind this like mound. I go back behind this mound of snow and I squat down and I start peeing like hard, where you're like, you had to pee so bad. So you're like, ugh. And it's coming out like laser fast. And then all of a sudden just a turd slipped out. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, I just shit.
Yeah.
And I have one.
You can't
I
put
have
it back
one,
in.
I have
Everyone
one,
saw it.
I have one paper towel. I have one paper towel. So I was like, oh God, I hope this isn't ugly. And so I just go and I like push front to the back. And I look at it and it's a swamp. It is just
That
a
is just the
swamp.
worst.
It's just a swamp of shit. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like,
no.
I can't be like, there's
What do you do?
just a bunch of dudes walking around. I can't be like, hey bro, can you go get me some paper towel? I just accidentally took a shit.
Yeah, I meant to
So
pee.
I meant to pee, and I got like a loose booty
What do you
hole,
do?
so it just
Just
fell out. Like,
What
I mean,
do you-
what do you say? Anyways, so I'm like, all right, just pull your pants up, but
I
don't
have a
pull them up
crush
all
on
the
the
way.
guy in the car.
Because I was wearing sweatpants, and luckily I was wearing full cut underwear. They weren't thong. Because if it was thong underwear, I would have been a goner.
Yeah, that's not even enough to clean
So
up.
I'm wearing full undies, so I don't pull them up all the way, and I pull my pants up over it, and I start walking out from behind where I left just a piece of shit. And I start walking out, and then some guy starts walking towards me to go to the bathroom where I was.
no.
He's like, yo, is it good to go back there? I'm like, it's all yours, bro. And I just like, keep going. I'm like, that dude just stepped in my shit.
Oh,
and
my God.
I get in the car, and my friend is like, we gotta go. There's like a line of people waiting. They need, because we'd pumped gas. He's like, everybody needs to get gas. Let's get the fuck out of here. And I was like, we gotta stop somewhere. And I was like, he's like, why? He's like, let's go. We can stop later. I was like, no. I was like, I have shit in my pants. And he's like, what? I was like, give me the water napkin. So I take that huge Starbucks wad of napkins and I just make a fucking diaper on my asshole. And then I get in his car. He's like, wait, you have shit in your ass? And I was like, yes, I have shit in my ass. So when I get in the car, he goes, well, don't sit in my seat. I'm like, okay, fine. So I get in the car and I just get to like a kneel prayer position. I was like, let's go. I was like, the first chance you have to pull over, you have to pull over. He's like, fine, first chance we have to pull over. We're driving, there's nowhere to pull over. It's because there's so much snow, there's no shoulder to the highway anymore. So finally we find there's a tire chain station. So it's just people lining up, chaining their tires.
Jesus.
And we pull up, and I'm like,
weirdest
perfect.
spots.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna open the car door so it'll block me from the people in front of us chaining their tires. And at this point, there's nobody behind us chaining their tires. So I was like, so I'm gonna open the door. I had baby wipes and dog bags because I had doggy poop bags because I had my dog with me.
Nicole poop.
So then
bags.
I'm going back. So then I move back away because he's sitting in the driver's seat, and I'm like kind of like flirty with him. I was like, I don't want him to see me. Like, this is already bad enough. So then
Yeah.
I'm like,
You're still trying. I
so
love
I'm
it.
moving back away from the passenger door so he can't see me. And then somebody pulls up behind us, and I was like, fuck! So then I have to go back right by the passenger door. I have the back passenger door open and the front passenger door open. And I'm like, I need you to look away right now and do not look back. And I'm sitting there baby wiping my ass. And like, by the way, I finished taking a shit on the side of the road. And I'm wiping my ass, and then all of a sudden Matt turns over at me as I'm like wiping my diarrhea asshole, and he's like, "Are you done yet?" And we just lock eyes while I'm like on my asshole. I'm like, oh, we're never fucking.
Wow, this sounds like a Dr. Pepper commercial.
Oh, it was so bad.
That's amazing. Wow.
Anyways, that was it. 14 hours
That is
later, we made
epic.
up.
That is the best shit story I've ever heard.
Did you hook up with him ever?
No.
Really?
I was like, oh, that killed it.
Well,
Honestly, I can't make eye contact with a dude after I had like massive diarrhea and I'm wiping my asshole and putting it into Ziploc bags. Oh, and he goes
Ziploc bag?
No, into dog bags, and he's like, by the way, so I put it into one bag, and then I put it into another bag, and then I put it into another bag, and then I sealed it up.
You took it
and
with
I start
you.
bringing it back into the car, and he's like, oh, you're leaving that on the side of the highway.
Yeah.
You're not bringing
I was like,
gifts?
but I don't want to litter. He's like, oh, I don't care.
You can leave that shit here.
Yeah, there's few things though that would make a guy not fuck a girl, and you've landed on it.
It wasn't even like he might have wanted to fuck me.
He didn't
I don't-
want you to get
but
back
at
in his
that point,
car.
I was just like, oh, you're my bro for life.
Yeah, right?
I'm like, this dude's my ride or die homie. Like,
Yeah.
if I can have diarrhea in front of a
Yeah.
man's face, like, I could have reached
don't
my
wanna
hand
fuck that
out
up
and
with a
held his
relationship.
hand as I prolapsed my rectum.
Oh, shit. Yo.
Wow.
Oh, man. That was great. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for enjoying everything you guys just did. I love it. Shit happens. Absolutely.
She says it happens like it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Literally, it happens.
shitterly. Well, Nicole, what do you got? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug? You got a website, social media, anything?
I got a podcast coming out. I'm still deciding on the name right now. It's Fear and Loving. Yeah.
Okay,
Fear and
who's
Loving.
that? Are you gonna talk? You got to tell that story on it. Like,
Maybe
Does it
it's more of
involve,
like it's more of like interviewing people about like real fears and real loves. Like it's a kind of it's a deep exploration.
like
it's
it.
it's funny. It's funny
like it.
adjacent.
Right,
But I
right.
just like I don't know. I'm
That's
as much as I like being funny and like being raunchy and provocative, I also love like getting to the heart of the matter.
Hell yeah.
I just think I don't know.
Well,
It's,
yeah.
like, nice to. I think you can really know something about someone. You know, Kanye said it in a tweet recently, but I was saying it before him. But fear and love are really the root of everything.
yeah.
So.
Awesome. Well, definitely, guys, check that out. Check out the podcast. Follow Nicole on Twitter. Where
At Nicole Aimée, Nicole Aimee, and Instagram too, and you know.
do
what
it
else,
all.
this
Yeah,
stuff,
just get in touch with Nicole.
Snap that D.
Yeah. Absolutely. She's gonna
No,
need
don't.
it.
I can't
no,
have any more
yeah,
dicks on
yeah,
my phone.
I so, Dave too. DaveLandau.com, right? I knew that.
Yes, DaveLandau.com. And then you can listen to me 4 to 6 every day, well, Monday through Thursday, on the Artie and Anthony Show. You can subscribe at Compound Media. And yeah, that's it.
Hell yeah.
Really. So,
Thank you guys so much for doing the show. Thanks for coming out, guys. Give yourselves a hand. Another hand for Dave Landau, Nicoles Schreiber, everybody.
all right. Fun.
That was great, guys.
Good night.
That was great.